all are racist.
So are y'all, but y'all are tyrants.
What? We're not tyrants. You all are cultists.
Oh, like science isn't becoming a cult. Y'all mentally ill.
We wouldn't be mentally ill if you all would vote for better health care, you rich thieving scum.
What? Rich? We all live in trailer parks, you anarchists.
No, you all don't. You all own the transphobic companies.
What in tarnation does being transphobic have to do with this, you child groomer?
Child groomer? You all have the priest.
That's it, you weak-limbed snowflake.
Hey guys, it's Michael again. Welcome back to Dumb Culture. This is commentary on how dumb culture is currently. In this podcast, guys, we're going to talk about everything from dating to politics, from pop culture to history. So sit back and let's have a discussion about politics, logical versus emotional. But first, guys, I want to give you a heads up on adding to the conversation. If you want to give me any kind of advice, feedback, information, clarification, confirmation, or you just want to yell, "Hey, you idiot," you can leave a comment below or DM me at McDougal's Mind on all social media. So with that said, guys, I'll give you a little bit of background on who I am. I was raised more conservatively than most of you watching this. In my early 20s, I decided to start questioning everything I knew. I now lean just left of center. I do vote Democrat, though I am not a crazy Democrat. I understand being a liberal is more about freedom and openness rather than the reckless craziness that we've seen recently, and that's a topic for another day. Let's start the open dialogue, guys, about politics, logical versus emotional. All right, so it's pretty evident, and let me get my notes in order here. It's pretty evident that our culture is devolving and becoming more hostile, guys. Both sides are saying they're dictators. Both sides are saying they're Yahtzees. Both sides are trying to control how people live. Both sides apparently have ties to racism. Both sides apparently don't know the difference between freedom and security. Both sides want drama. They want drama, guys. Drama sells. And we're going to use this podcast as an example. A while back, I made a cartoon inspired by anime that was fairly complex for amateur level. I got next to no views, no comments at all, and then I started stepping on toes. Started saying things that were slightly offensive, and now I'm getting open dialogue and comments and more views on my digital footprint than I've ever had. So, yeah, is politics not logical anymore? Is it just becoming emotional? Or has it always been emotional? Let's take a look in history, guys, and let's go look at our friend Aristotle. If you guys aren't familiar with him, he was a philosopher back in around 388 BC, I want to say, give or take. But Aristotle wrote on emotions and politics a few times. He wrote on the Nicomachean ethics, rhetoric, and then again in politics. We're not going to focus on all three of those, guys. Instead, we're going to turn our attention to, let me get my buttons in order here. Where is my mouse? All right, we're going to turn our attention here, guys, to Aristotle on emotions in law and politics. And, you know, shout out to Hups, Klusner, and Klo. Hopefully I said that right, guys. Hopefully. But disclaimer, I haven't read the entire book because this seems to be a sort of college level textbook, maybe even high school level textbook. But the gist of it, guys, we use emotions, or at least in politics, emotions are used to elicit a desired outcome. And judges, since they are human and We should know whether or not they should be allowed to be emotional and dictate law and judgment to those that need to be judged. You know, Aristotle talked about this 2,500 years ago. You know, both the judge and the people can be swayed by sentiment. Again, that was 2,500 years ago, thereabout, that Aristotle talked about this. And has anything really changed? In our current political climate, guys, both sides want a desired outcome. Both sides should be fulfilling law and judge accordingly. It's not really working, is it? However, like in Aristotle's time, our judges and people can be swayed by sentiment. They can be swayed by their emotions. You know, appeal to the emotions. Get them emotional and they will react. Figure out what enacts whichever desired emotion you want to get whatever desired outcome you want. That's pretty much the basis. And Aristotle had that figured out 2,500 years ago. And we're taking a look right now about whether or not anything has really changed since then. So, what has changed in our societies? What are our politicians, our judges, what are they doing? What's their desired outcome? Is it more votes? More repeated terms? Benefits of staying in power, maybe? Monetary kickbacks? More views and clicks? What's really bringing in the views? Drama. Again, it's the dang drama. So, drama sells and makes money, guys. And, you know, looking at Aristotle's work in the 3 books and then the book that's here in front of us, this has been going on for some time. It's nothing new, but most people tend not to think about it. And to get into this a little bit deeper, let's look at an article by PNAS. Let me get my mouse on the right side here. So, in this article here, guys, it talks about obviously cross-national evidence of negativity bias and psychophysiological reactions to news. And pretty much the basis of this article, guys, is negativity biases are based in humans' physiological activation by negativity more so than positivity. In layman's terms, guys, we like bad more than good. Have you ever heard someone say, well, you're a wuss if you don't pick a side? People want you to join in with them in hating another tribe, another group of people. And if we look at another book, guys, and let me get my mouse right here. There we go. Righteous Mind by Jonathan Haidt. I think that's how you say his last name. I could be wrong. But in this book, guys, it talks about tribalism and how we evolved to hate different tribes, different groups of people, different sporting teams, fictional characters like Trollocs from the Jordan and Sanderson's Wheel of Time book series. We just want to hate someone or something that's innate in us. That's how we have evolved as humans. And anger is probably the most, or the easiest, I would say, emotional response to get, to elicit out of people. You know, it's easier to make someone angry than it is to make them happy. That's just how it is. And anger clouds our ability to make decisions, guys. It's probably the worst out of all the emotions that cloud us. And possibly in most of the world, the Western world, we are kept in a state of clouded judgment. And yeah, it's easier and more profitable than, let's say, joy. Joy, and we're going to define this right here and right now. Everyone should know what anger is, but joy is not happiness. Joy is being at peace and clear-headed. That is what joy means. You can choose to be joyful, or you can choose to always be angry. The problem in our current political climate is that we're being constantly manipulated, I believe. Most everyone uses anger to justify how they vote. Hate the left. I hate the right. They're evil incarnate. It's everywhere. It's just pick a side and fight. Pick a side and fight. And it's getting irritating. You know, I'm an American. And I understand that we have to have some quarrel to decide what's best. And I am 100% convinced that most people have no idea what is best. You know, I myself, I probably couldn't give you anything that hasn't already been said, you know, whether it's the Bible or a different religion. And going off of that, guys, let's talk about Siddhartha Gautama, the founder of Buddhism. He was raised as a prince and chose to live a life of poverty and then to endure suffering. According to the History Channel, after enduring poverty, he sought the middle way. And the middle way pretty much means to exist between two extremes. And you could take that as almost like a yin and yang too, where you have to accept the good with the bad, and you have to accept the bad with the good. And we are teetering more and more so to the outer edges of this being centered. You know, people have taken to calling fence sitters like myself, slightly, but they've taken to calling fence sitters, you know, egregious names and name calling, and you know, like I stated earlier about you're a wuss, pick a side. And I've heard that time and time and time and time again, that you have to pick a side, you have to pick a side. And I'm going to tell everyone that's saying that you're wrong, and we need to come together. And now there is going to be an issue on coming together, because obviously you can't have two people of extremely different minds coming together. And it's a sad thing, but obviously Aristotle pointed that out 2,500 years ago. And guys, the only way we can really work this out and figure out how to fix our political situation right now, because it's at an all-time high intenseness. You got people online all over the place shouting about civil war here in the United States, mind you, shouting about, you know, civil war, you know, they want the government to collapse. I don't think a lot of people really understand the consequences of a government collapsing, especially here in the United States, because we've never had our government collapse. We've had the same Constitution for almost 250 years. In fact, I think we're 3 years shy of 250 years. 1776? Yeah, because it would be 2026. So yeah, I was right. But anyways, guys, that's just my thoughts on this. We're going to have to figure this stuff out, and we're going to have to learn how to deal with each other and live in peace. I don't know what that answer is. I'm opening up the dialogue. That's the whole point of this, guys, is to open up the dialogue. And I mean, you could say, well, we just have to fight it out, but there's got to be a better way. There has to be a point in society where we go, anger, violence, it's not the answer. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. I've got a few more topics that I've been working on. They're going to be coming up hopefully soon. There's a chance I'll be going back to work pretty soon. If that's the case, I'll work my butt off doing my job and trying to do this to bring you guys content, and you know, we'll have an open discussion about stuff. But I just want to give a quick shout out to Luke Styles and Sir Leo. They're two, I'll say, contacts and information giver that have been giving me some pretty good topics, and I might even do a part 2 of the dating thing, because Luke Styles has given me some pretty good ideas on that. And then Sir Leo has been working with me on getting new, fresh ideas. So anyways, guys, stuff is coming. This has taken me probably 50 tries to go in one go right now. I am amateur level at this, but it has been fun. I've been loving doing it. Hopefully you guys had a great time. Thank you for listening. and God bless.